We got to get a better fucking intro, man. Episode number
That is all you, dude.
29 of the Cole and Austin Hour. Here we come at you down the rails, hot and fast, and you know how it goes. Anyway, we're doing this episode a little earlier than I'm normally used to, Austin. And I tell you what, I can't remember the last time I was up in the single digits, which I might have said that a few episodes ago, but this time it's real. That time it was 9 o'clock. It was like the last single digit. This time I got up at 7:17, and I'm sure as shit glad that I set 2 alarms because I woke back up at 7:20 because I was like, this can't be right. It's still pitch black outside. Alarm goes off again, and I'm like, fuck, I'm not dreaming. All right, here we go. So I get up, and I'm like, since when is it still pitch goddamn blackout at 7:30 in the morning?
Welcome to the world.
Welcome to the world,
Welcome
apparently.
to the world.
I don't
Hey, we're in winter time right now. Okay.
Could have fooled me.
Can be a little darker, a little longer.
Yeah, see, I don't remember it being at 7, like so late in the morning. I remember getting up for school and shit and like being at school and school starting at around 7:45 and it already being kind of light like this outside. I don't know.
Bro.
Dude,
it's butt ass cold. That's what it is.
I'm glad that I got up though and I started my car because it was freezing cold outside and we probably wouldn't be starting the episode right now if I hadn't warmed my car up early.
Give me a chance to sleep.
Yeah, give you a little few minutes before I get here. But anyway, I tell you what, I'm on the way here and I go and I stop at the gas station. And I forget that it's Monday too. It's a Monday morning, and I'm not part of the Monday morning wake up 9 to 5 or whatever, 7:30 to 2:30 grind like all the blue collar American folk are. And I walk into this gas station in a bright pink sweater, all kind of like grabbing my Red Bulls. Excuse me, guys. And all the guys standing in line look like you with their fucking coveralls and their overalls and their fucking paint covered or
we gotta go
plastered,
to work,
torn open, hold everything, dirty faces and shit, standing there with a fucking goddamn
2 monsters and like.
Well, they'll have like 2 monsters in one hand. Yeah, let me get a couple breakfast beef and cheese burritos, and then they have like a fucking 24-ounce Bud Light in the other. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Where are you going?
That's lunch.
Yeah,
that's for lunch.
That's for lunch later. I walked through everyone. There's like 7 guys standing in line and a couple more walking through the store. I'm the one in there in a bright pink sweater, like walking through, and they're all just looking at me like,
Who the fuck is this?
Like, you piece of shit. And they I tell you what, I haven't gotten so many dirty looks in a long time. But that's okay. You know, because I got my Red Bulls, and I'm kicking back here in a nice, comfortable chair in a semi-warm
I wouldn't
room.
Say comfortable.
Well, you know what?
These
it's not.
Fuck me.
Well, they fuck you. They don't fuck me.
No, they fuck you too.
Well, you know what? This is what I'm trying to say. Comparatively speaking to those fucking assholes that were standing in line, I think I'm doing okay. They're all freezing their balls off right now. Probably.
I froze my balls off all night, you dick.
Hammering nails and digging ditches and shit, you know? Ditch bitch. Not you.
Is that what they use in construction?
Oh, I'm sure.
Like ditch bitch? I'd be
about it,
like,
dude.
Bro, fuck you. Get in this ditch. Let's go 1v1.
Let's go. You could see the age here in like your and I's generation comparative to probably older folks. Like, get in this fucking ditch here, 1v1 me, bro.
Yeah. Well,
see who can dig faster, bitch.
Because you know the older generations like to bring 3 or 4 friends with them every time.
Oh, yeah, those fucking old limp dick motherfuckers. They try getting in a bar fight, and they're like, hey, Peter, hey, Johnny, remember back in 1972 when we fucked up old Frank and tied him to the fucking lamppost? Let's do it again.
Fuck him up.
Yeah, no, yeah.
What are we doing tonight, Frankie?
What are we doing? Anyway.
I went and saw Dune.
Dune. How was it?
I didn't like it.
No?
I didn't like
So my
it.
buddies, okay, don't tell me anything yet. My buddies watched it. They seen it on the HBO Max at home, and they said it was pretty good. It's a one half of the two half movie kind of series. And
yeah, two-parter.
they really liked it. So tell me what you thought and why you didn't like it.
There's no story. I don't know. Okay. There's a story if you know the old Dune movie. I think it was late 70s, early 80s, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that. It was an old pretty much this is a remake of the old shit, and I don't know jack shit about the Dune series. So I just kind of went because everybody said it was a good movie, whether you knew about the Dune series or not. Poop.
No?
It was poop, dude. There's no... I don't know.
What,
you told me. You
what
told
makes
me.
it poop? Did you?
Bro, there was no like explanation for anything.
So do you feel like you needed to have known some backstory from previous, like early?
I felt like I needed to know Dune in its entirety for me to understand this first movie. Because other than that, it was just a bunch of people walking through a fucking desert, and then a couple fight scenes, and then people telling this kid who kind of represents like a special ed kid in the alien future world, like with a prophecy power, I guess. Like, yeah, I don't know. It
kind of sounds like Star Wars Episode 1.
Bro, it sounds
They're
like
walking around in a desert, couple fight
sounds like
scenes.
fucking Harry Potter, dude. A kid with a prophecy, and everybody makes fun of this kid, but he ends up being the savior or something. And it was like, all right, next. Like, nice
Thank
one,
you, next.
Nice one, you little wannabe J.K. Rowling.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't really watch movies. Maybe I'll check it out and see what I think.
Do I usually do 5 stars or 10 stars? And then do 5, right?
Yeah, I think you do.
That's a fucking half.
Oh, you give it a half star?
That's a half, bro.
Oh, rough.
I wanted to give it a 1, but 2 hours and like 40 minutes of that, nah.
No shitting.
You cut 40 minutes off, I'll give you a 1.5 stars.
Damn. That's a tough crowd out here, dude.
Dragged. Wait, dude, I was sitting there like, I don't usually do this during movies, but I was literally sitting there like twirling my thumbs, looking around the movie theater like, okay, this movie
Maybe that's
sucks.
why it was such a shitty movie. You weren't paying attention.
No, bro. I'm still paying attention because there's obviously looking at a fucking wall is way more boring than watching that shitty movie. But yeah, dude, it was dumb. And then there was like, they like get saved by these sand people that are there, and then all of a sudden the sand dude like freaks out and he's like, I want to fight you. Send me your best challenger. And then fucking the mom, she's like, well, it's just me and my son. And then the son was like, I got this.
I got this, Ma.
Mind you, this is literally last 20, 30 minutes of movie.
Well, don't ruin it for me.
Hey, for the first 2 hours, this kid was a pussy.
Don't ruin it for me.
I'm not ruining it for you. I'm telling you why he sucked, all right? So I'm letting you know when you go watch it.
I can already tell what you're going to say. He was a pussy for the first 2 hours, and then he, like, ripped shit up or something at the end.
Fucks this guy up. Yeah, kills him.
So I don't even need to watch the movie now.
Bro, all you need to do is watch part 2 because that's the only fucking significance I get from this storyline.
Well, thanks, man. I was thinking about actually checking that movie out, but you kind of just blew it for me.
It has nothing to. The dude has nothing to do with the big storyline. It's just some random villager guy.
Well, I get that.
I'm just saying,
but I mean,
the basis the kid was been a pussy for 2 hours and 30 minutes, and then somehow this kid becomes some fucking Jet Li badass dude, and just fucking cuts this guy up, and then everybody's like, okay, let's continue. And then that was the end.
They could have gone another route with that, and the kid could have got his shit pushed in, and then the second movie kind of
There would be no second movie because this kid is literally the prophecy. It's another Harry Potter movie, just futuristic.
Harry Potter doesn't win in every movie.
What are you talking about? Did you even fucking watch?
Yeah, he dies in the last one.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, they come back to life.
Hey, he dies. Voldemort kills him. Or whoever the fuck. Who killed... I can't remember.
Thanks for ruining the movie, bro.
Dude, I haven't seen it in like
thanks
15
for ruining
years.
the movie.
You've already seen it.
I was actually going to check out that movie.
Fuck you.
That's what you look like and sound like right there. Little
Fuck
whiner.
off.
Little Barbie action figure.
You've already
there.
seen Harry Potter.
Look at you. You got pink on you, fucking Barbie.
You fucking... Speaking of...
And then other than that, I saw another movie. It was an anime one. It wasn't as
Your Hero Academy one.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
Nice.
It was like there was like 3 cool fight scenes, and then that one kind of dragged on too. But the reason I give it 2 stars out of 5,
Oh, better.
maybe 2.5. It's because it was an hour and a half less than that other piece of shit.
Nice. There you go.
So I think I'm gonna go see Venom next.
All right. My dad and his now fiance and no longer girlfriend.
Did he propose at Venom?
No, actually at 007.
Oh, dude, did he really?
No, I'm fucking with you. But that's what he did it. They went to the beach a couple weekends ago, blah, blah, blah. Cute. I don't give a fuck. So I was just going to say.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Him and her went and saw the Jamesy Bond movie. And I asked him about it. I was like, yeah, so how was it? And he was just straight up like, I won't tell you about it. I was like, why not? And he's like, you'll just have to go see it. I don't want to ruin it for you. And I'm like,
He's a better person than I am.
no, that's even worse because that's just a shitty way of saying, I just don't want to talk about it. Because he just didn't care to explain the movie or anything.
No, it's pretty much he was like, fuck you, go see yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I know.
What did you want something else from him?
Well, I at least wanted him to tell me if it was good or not, or I don't know, give me a little something. Tell me.
Well, I just gave you a little something, and it just kind of sounded like you got your panties in a bunch.
You can tell me a little bit about the movie without telling me what happens at the end or something.
No name fucking bum character that has no relevance whatsoever died. You're welcome. You're welcome. I just didn't want you to have to watch that Wakanda 2.0 fucking Panther battle again that they got going on in Dune. Dude, literally fucking both the guys do. You remember when in Wakanda?
I've never seen Wakanda.
Or Black Panther?
No, I've never seen Black Panther.
Yeah. Pretty much in the second movie, T'Challa and fucking Michael B. They're circling each other in the waterfall, and they're like, let's go, motherfucker. They're doing a leader battle right now. And fucking that's pretty. Yeah,
let's
dude.
Fucking do this, motherfucker.
That's when Michael B. Jordan had his shirt off and all them fucking spots were all over him. Bro.
I'm an uncultured swine.
Thank you.
I get it.
Thank you. Didn't have to say it.
Well,
but fucking in Dune, that's pretty much what that bum little villager guy was doing in the sun. They were just like, ooh, and then he kept doing like jab, and then underhook. And then the kid just kept pimp slapping away the underhook. And every time he did it, he put the knife up to his neck. He was like, I will kill you. And then the villager was like, no. Tried stab, uppercut, and
stab, uppercut.
Yeah, and then the kid went uppercut.
Stab.
He went uppercut, stab, got the guy, and it was over. And I was like, okay, see, that's why we got to switch it up every once in a while.
So it was like Squid Game, where at the end, all of a sudden, the two guys become fucking martial art champions, and they fight out in the rain, and they're like, and they fucking kitchen knives.
With their butter knives, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Hey, what'd you say like 2 episodes ago? Thank God not seeing that fucking movie. That movie sucks.
That's fair. It's okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch Dune. I'm probably not gonna see James Bond either.
Mind you, I may think the second part's much better.
Could be,
but that's because
they could be setting themselves up for success with so many people thinking maybe so many people thinking similarly as you and going like, oh man, that movie was kind of doggy dumb shit.
So pretty much they're setting themselves up with so many failures that at some point it's gonna have to be good, and that way
here's what I'm saying.
It's good at the end and everybody's like, yeah.
You set it up however you want. They obviously went kind of shitty, and so that in a few years when the next one comes out, you'll have forgotten how shitty it was, and you go, I'll fucking give the second one a try. What the hell? And if it's really, really good, then it becomes one of those like fucking crazy cult classics where everyone's like, oh my God, part 1 and 2 are their Dune is so good. And they're like, don't worry about watching part 1. It's okay. I'll just explain it to you. But part 2 is so good. You know how people are like, oh my God, I fucking love Star Wars. I mean, episode 1 kind of blows, so don't watch that one. Or, like 4 and 5 because they're old, but the rest of them are so good. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what they'll do with that Dune shit. You never know.
Yeah, but there's a difference between Star Wars having like 9 movies and Dune only having 2 parts.
And skip 7, 8, and 9 on Star Wars. Yeah, the only important ones, really.
Honestly, dude, you could skip the whole new.
Yeah, 7, 8, and 9.
Literally everything that was made from 2014 or 15 on.
I don't know. Anything after they made Star Wars Episode 3, the newest one. Because you know how they made 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3. That's the order they were created, like in the 80s, and then episode 1, 2, and 3. Right?
Yeah. And then we're talking about
anything after they made episode 3 in like 2005 or something.
Yeah. Get out of here.
The only thing that's good about those new Star Wars movies is fucking Daisy Ridley, man. She's so good looking.
Oh.
The main character, Rey, the
girl. Yeah.
She's a babe. I tell you what. What's that? Like, she's good?
That's an A-OK.
Oh. She's a number 1 in my book, man.
Fucking about the only book you read.
That's what I'm telling you.
Because you got pictures, Coach?
Daisy Ridley.
Boom.
It's a picture book. Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Star Wars, last night, so there's this new kid at my work, and I know I was trying to say we weren't going to talk about our lives, but this is just a goofy fucking story. So there's this new kid at my work, and he's 20 or 21, and he tries to be like the Mr. Funny guy and like always fuck with you about everything.
He's got no experience.
He don't understand the fuck with you game, boy. He don't understand where he's going to sit in this fucking totem pole. He's the low man. I tell you, he's the low man on this totem pole.
So what'd you tell him?
So it'll be roundabout to Star Wars, but I kind of got 2 funny stories to set. One to set it up, and then a Star Wars story. So the second time I talked to him, first time he tells me his name's Dakota. I'm like, Dakota. The first thing I thought was there's a porn star whose name's Dakota. So I was like, that's funny. I didn't say anything about that to him, but so the second time I talked to him, standing there with my manager, and I am talking, and Dakota comes walking up, and I'm like, yeah, blah, 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 like Dakota says, and he just kind of gives me, like, stares at me, and I'm like, that is your name, right? Like, Dakota? That's you? And he goes, no, that's not my name. And I was just like, oh. Hey, that's what you told me last time. I thought your name was Dakota. And then I look back at my manager, and he goes, he's fucking with you. And so I just look at him straight up, and I look at Dakota back at him, and I was just like, oh, okay.
You're one of those guys.
And then I just went right back to talking to my manager and like didn't even acknowledge him again. And he was just kind of like, and his face just kind of dropped. And then he got his soda and just walked away. And then I couldn't hold it anymore. I just started dying laughing because I'm like, if he wants to try fucking with me, I'm going to fuck with him back so hard. So the other night, this is last night, I'm in work and he's standing there and I'm throwing something away and he's washing dishes or something. And he comes walking by and I'm like, hey, man, how's it going? And he's like, good. And he always just gives me this awkward look. So I purposefully act super awkward around him. I'm just like, all right, cool. Having a good night? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you like Star Wars? Have you seen Star Wars? And he's like, yeah, I have. I was like, oh, okay. I was just wondering. And then just like straight up walked out of the kitchen. And he was just like, I got back into the bar and you can kind of see in through towards the kitchen area. And I look back in there and he's like kind of just standing there staring at me. And I'm like, I go right back to making drinks in the bar. I'm just like, just fucking with this kid. And he doesn't really understand. And I'm never going to say anything about Star Wars again. And if he ever brings it up, I'll just be like, oh, yeah, I just like Star Wars. I really like Star Wars.
Dude, I don't get, like...
It was a stupid fucking joke and stupid story, but it's the little shit you do here and there that builds up under them to where they don't understand that you're fucking with them all the time. And then when you're not fucking with them, they'll think that you're fucking with them. And they'll never know when you're not fucking with them. Because if you don't know, now you know.
What the fuck are you talking about? Dude.
What you got there?
What do you got? Who do you work with? That's what I'm worried about. Are these people like out in the real fucking world? Like,
I've worked with some crackheads.
I guess at the grocery stores and shit that we go to.
Yeah, these people are real life. Sometimes I think that same thing. They come into my bar and I'm like, is this person real life? I had to cut this guy off last night. This guy comes in. Fucking, I'm not trying to tell another life story. Fuck. This guy comes in last night, and in an hour and a half, I've gave him 10 beers and 4 shots. I gave him 5 Coronas, 2 Coors Lights. Sorry, not 10 beers. It was 9 beers. 5 Coronas, 2 Coors Lights, a pint of IPA, a pint of lager. I gave him a margarita and 4 shots of tequila. And about halfway in, he goes, hey, man, am I acting weird? And I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm not starting to act weird, am I? And I'm like, no, you're fine. Like, whatever. And then when I get around to cutting him off, he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, if you get this Corona, that's going to have to be the last thing you're getting, man. And he was like, why? And I'm like, because I'm cutting you off. And he's like, are there laws about that? I'm like, yeah, there are fucking laws about that. And if you leave and something happens to you, I'm liable for that shit. So don't fucking, I'm done. You're done. He was just like, oh, okay. And then he was fucked up. When he got up and left, he was like, I'm calling an Uber. I'm like, cool. Because I
always feel like it's, in society, it's always weird to like tell someone off.
Oh, it definitely is.
Kind of like give somebody a little attitude just to make them like fucking listen or get out of like the situation you're in. I feel like I've done that before, and then afterwards I try and like laugh it off or something, and I'm just like, man, I feel like this person's upset that I had to tell them off, but I also don't feel bad because like
my job's on the line too and all that kind of shit. So I'm just kind of like, hey, man.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, because if it was the other way around and it was like, if something that I'm doing is affecting whether or not you get to keep your job and like keep making money and like get sued or not, get in big trouble. Because like if something happens to them, they can technically like sue the restaurant and come after me specifically and blah, blah, blah. So I ain't trying to fuck with that. And if that happened on the reverse, and if it was something I was doing that could just keep someone from keeping their job, yeah, they would tell me to fuck right off in a heartbeat. So
Jesus,
what you got there?
I'm looking at, there's a vote coming in to Minneapolis Police Department.
All right, what are they voting on? More guns.
To replace the police department completely. It says that they wouldn't abolish or defund the police, but we all know that's crock shit because they wouldn't be having a vote to replace. They're replacing the police with. Supporters of the measure have said it will not defund or abolish the police department. Instead, police officers won't respond to every call for service in cases where mental health counselors and other professionals are needed instead, citing police shootings that have stemmed from mental health related calls.
So, there's like 2 ways to look at this. There's multiple ways more than that, but the 2 things that come to my mind are, okay, sure, there's times where it's like a not totally mentally stable person that's only harmful to themselves and simply no one else. And sure, cops might be a little overly aggressive on some of them, and that can be dialed back a little bit. But then I watched a video yesterday of a mentally not fully capable not completely there person, and they're sitting on their front porch and they're fucking waving a gun at the cops. So I'm like, and then they smoke this motherfucker, and I'm like, well, yeah, if you're walking up, and mind you, they had talked to this lady. They walked up and they were asking about this vehicle that was just parked outside her house on the corner, kind of. She's got a front lawn kind of right, literally on the corner. And they're talking to her, and she's like, yeah, no, that car's been parked there for a long time, blah, blah, blah. They're like, okay. Then they go back and they do their cop stuff over at their cars, and cops are talking. And they come up just to talk to her again. And one of them's, when they were at their squad cars, they were like, do you see that gun in her waistband? And he was like, no, I didn't notice that. And they're like, just be careful. And they were like, okay. So they go back up to talk to her, and they were like, hey, yeah, no, so something about this car again. She's like, don't you come any closer. And they're like, whoa, what are you talking about? She's like, don't fucking come any closer. And they were like, okay, fine, just we know you got a gun, just don't go for it. And the first thing she does is says, don't come any closer, and pulls it out and starts pointing it. And they're all just like, bop, and just drop this girl. And I'm like, okay, she was not in the fucking right mental state of mind, but who the fuck thinks it's a smart idea to look at 4 cops that are walking at you and go, pull out a gun and say, don't come any fucking closer? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, it's a new world we live in, mate.
I don't want to live in this world. I sure should know that.
It's Biden's America. Pretty much what these people are saying is what people tend to say, and especially voters of color. Okay. All right. Voters of color is, what I want is something very simple. I want to be able to call for help when I need it. Call 911, stupid fuck. And I want to be able to not fear that help when it arrives. Don't wave a gun in a cop's face, and just listen to the motherfucker when he asks you questions, you stupid fuck.
I just want to say one thing. In this video, the lady was fucking pasty white as shit. She was whiter than all of us.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to throw that out there because I know that the article says voters of color majority feel
well,
this way.
This is just for the Minneapolis vote that they're voting on.
Yeah.
He said the group's vision is public safety that, quote, public safety that prioritizes a public health lens so that we ensure that professionals who are trained in their fields are responding to calls that are relevant to those fields, end quote.
Is Minneapolis where the George Floyd thing happened?
Yeah.
This makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, they're a bunch of fucking loonies.
Well, I mean, since that happened, they've been a lot more woke, I guess you would say. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, dude. It only needs 51% to...
This is what I want to think.
To be approved. And it looks like 49% are already, like, okay with it.
I would hope that if this goes through, an occasion like the George Floyd thing wouldn't happen again then. I mean, obviously it should have never happened to begin with, and it was a fucking horrible thing, but...
Bro, cops kill people every day.
Oh, I know. Cops kill people left and right.
This got caught by a, hold on. What did the people call that kid? A heroic kid or some shit for videotaping the George Floyd video?
I didn't know they were calling him heroic. Wasn't it a girl? Her?
Yeah, it's just...
I don't know.
Either way, it was some fucking stupid adult that thought calling this kid heroic was going to get them points in the next fucking political race or some shit, but...
If they think that these advocates, or whatever you want to call them, mental health workers, are going to keep these types of things from happening, more power to them. Let them do it. But... if it comes down the pike that things start getting worse and you look at the data and it's starting to prove that it's not any better, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. If it does start working, sweet Jesus, we found a solution. That's great. It's fucking amazing. And here's the thing. I hope it works. You never don't want something that's supposed to be good to work. But I just am not confident in it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they go through with this, you have to restructure a whole new organization pretty much. New patches, new cars, new logos, all that.
That's not that hard, really.
Okay. Is it not hard to pay all the pension and insurance you promised those police officers that you've now just let go while trying to set up a new organization that's
they said they're not going to let go of anything. They said they're not going to defund where they're currently at, right?
Just because a headline says something doesn't mean that they're not going to do it.
Well, I mean,
this is also what we have to get better at, people.
I know you can't believe everything on the internet.
Just because you read a headline doesn't mean that just because people are like, hey, we're not going to defund the police. You know how many people in Seattle City Council said that before all the elections went through, and then now they're doing the exact opposite of what they said? Go watch that YouTube video of fucking what the Seattle's dying or whatever that the part 2, the one that came out last year.
I haven't seen that one, no.
Yeah, go watch that one, dog, and then you see all the city council people say, "Hey, we love the police. We're gonna do extra for the police," and then now,
okay, well,
defund the police is all over their shit.
You got to go both ways about it then. If you can't believe everything you read on the internet and saying, oh, it's not going to defund the police, you can't believe everything on the internet saying, well, they're entirely going to be doing this shit either. So it goes both ways. What? I mean, like this whole thing, it could say shit in there about, oh, we're going to do this and that could never actually happen. So, I mean, they could be lying both ways. They could be.
But what did they say?
I don't know. I haven't read the article. You're the one reading it to me. All I know so far is...
I'm just telling you what they're saying that this organization would be.
Yeah, I know. And what I'm saying is there could be things in there that are also wrong, that they're either exaggerating or telling people like, oh, yeah, we're going to do this, and it's so great.
Probably, but you jumped to a conclusion before I caught your ass on it, and you were like, well, the article, the headline says this, so they must
I'm just going both ways on it. I'm saying... Okay, you can't believe it in saying, well, they're saying they're not going to defund the police. You're going to believe that? You can't believe it on the flip side of saying, well, they're going to say they're going to do this, this, and that.
So how are you going to pay for a whole police department and then a whole new organization that pretty much is the police department, but just for people to go out and talk to people about their feelings?
No, probably just tax them again. More taxes. Hey, I don't live in Minneapolis, so it doesn't affect me.
Where are you going to get all the tax money from once everybody leaves your piece of shit state for that?
Hey, it's not there yet, so they're going to be able to tax them right now while they can. They're not going to have everybody move out of Minneapolis.
I'm not saying everybody would, but I'm sure if your solution was to only just fucking keep taxing and taxing and taxing, yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be...
I mean, how else do they fund these things?
Deuces, motherfucker. Yeah, you don't have to... Just fucking keep it in the bank. You don't have to spend your tax money that you got for roads on, I don't know, a new baseball park or some shit.
Oh, I know. You don't have to, but you realize who we're talking about and who's in charge and who controls the money. They fucking spend the money on dumbass shit. So
Democrats.
I don't lean either way. I'm not Democrat or Republic or anything. I'm just saying.
I know this guy outside of this, so whatever he says where he tries to be 50-50, I already know how he thinks.
I lean one way on some things, and I lean one way on other things. Like, I'm all about gay people. I'm a gay lover. I love gay people, but I also love guns. I go both ways. I swing both ways, man. I love gays, and I love guns, all right? That's all I got to say about that. Oh, man.
That's about it, dude. This just fucking says stupid shit about
don't get me wrong.
The world that we live in, and can't believe anything because we got to make sure that we see both sides for everything, and we got to make sure that we make everybody feel good about their opinions, and we got to fucking say the right things to make sure we sound good all the time.
Of all those things,
because why would anybody want to have their own opinion anymore?
Of all those things, there's only one of them that I like. All of them, I'm pretty much like, yeah, sure, whatever. But there's one that I kind of want to take out and say, I do believe that anytime you have a discussion with someone, you do need to hear both sides of the argument. Because if only one person gets to talk or only one side gets to state their point, that you're never going to fucking get anywhere in anything. I don't think you always have to appease everyone. Not everybody always has to be fucking happy and enjoy it, but everybody at least needs to be able to state their opinion. That's my opinion, because if you have an argument with someone and you're the only one that gets to fucking talk or say anything, and then you say, shut up, I don't want to hear your side because I'm right, and that's just the end of it, and that's how it's going to be, then this world is fucking going to get nowhere. Other than that, no, I pretty much agree with everything.
That's already how the world is, though. You just explain the world, and you're like, yeah, that's where the world's going. It's like, bro, we've been sitting in that world for like 2.5 years. Where have you been?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like...
You got your blinders on. You got your blinders on. You see nothing but what is in Cole's world.
Well, no, you just said...
You got your blinders on.
You were just going, well, everybody's got to have an opinion. You got to hear everybody's side, and everybody's got to be right, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like...
No, I said you have to you have to make sure every side is heard, everybody's pleased and fucking appointed to, and everybody...
I don't think everyone has to be pleased. I just think everybody's side has to be heard.
What are you talking about?
Because I don't give a shit
Have
if
you ever left a conversation where somebody who was pissed off felt good about that?
No, but I at least heard their side. I at least heard why they're pissed off.
So pretty much all you're saying is you just have to listen. You don't actually have to be like...
You don't have to agree with everything. You just have to at least...
Hold on. If you let me fucking finish, I would finish the sentence.
All right.
You wouldn't guess what I'm trying to say right now.
All right.
So you're saying all you have to do is listen and not be engaged.
No, that's not what I said at all.
So you have to be engaged.
That's why I didn't want you to finish.
So you have to be engaged in the conversation.
What I'm saying is, if you're going to be conversing with someone or arguing anything or have differing opinions, the only way you're going to get anywhere, if you want to get anywhere with someone in that engagement, is by actually like...
I'm not talking about getting anywhere with anybody. I don't need to explain anything to anybody because I don't give a fuck.
Well, if you just don't give a fuck, then you're not going to have a lot of people that want to talk to you.
No, but it's like, I'm talking about, like, if we're all talking about a situation and I just have no interest in it, I'll just be like, yeah, I don't really care what you have to say because I don't really give a fuck what I have to say about the issue because I don't give a shit.
All right, I guess.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't give a shit
fair.
about what I'm saying about the conversation, I definitely don't give a shit about what you're saying about the conversation.
Let me restructure this then. Let me back up here a little bit. If you're ever having a discussion or disagreement with someone, I definitely think that both people need to have a statement or like state their opinion. I guess when you're saying
that's a given though.
If there's something like, oh, I'm not interested in, like, I give no shits about, I don't know, New York fashion show, so I'm not going to listen to someone talking about some New York fucking fashion show.
That was what first came to your mind.
I was just trying to pull out the most random ass shit.
I think you're thinking about New York fashion shows.
You know.
You some bitch.
But no, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you got a point there where, like, if you walk into a conversation, two girls, you're like, okay, right on out of this conversation.
Because, like, in the world we live in today, it's like people will get their opinion out, and then it'll be over. They'll either
on things they don't even give a fuck about.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
They'll either move on to another conversation to try and bat away the fact that they didn't actually care, or it's like, okay, I told you how I feel. Now you have to tell me how you feel, and since I felt bad for you, you got to feel bad for me. And then I just feel like, not all, but that's literally how most conversations are these days. Because over the weekend, dude, I was hanging out with some people, and they were like just talking about their lives or shit that they do or something. And I'm just like, so do I gotta like give you a round of applause? Like, I just felt like every time they ended the sentence, they were waiting for something like a big reaction or like a no.
Oh, no way.
Or like
really?
A fucking, oh shit, like good job or so. Yeah, and I was just sitting there and I was hands in my pocket like I am now, and I was just sitting there listening and smiling, and they were like, you gonna say anything? I'm like, oh, I thought there was more to the story. I didn't know you wanted me to fucking stand up and give you a round of applause or some shit. I just feel like most conversations end that way in today's society.
I feel like a lot of conversations as a bartender, because that's all I do is talk to people all day long. A lot of the conversations I have, people are more so not trying to converse with you so much as they're just waiting for you to stop talking so they can say what they want to fucking say, whether it has anything to do with you, what you just said, or what you were talking about or not. Mm-hmm. There's a good most of the time where you can actually convert, like coworkers, they're really good. Like you can talk about, oh yeah, I did this yesterday. What'd you do on your day off? Blah, blah, blah. I feel like everybody's coworkers are pretty good about that. Because, I mean, you see them for so many hours a day. You get to know them at least a little bit what they're like outside of work. Whereas, like, a lot of the customers or guests or whatever that come in, it's just a lot of, this is what I want to say. And basically, I know you're the bartender and you're stuck here and you've got to listen to me. And it doesn't matter what you say. I just want to wait until you're done talking so I can say what I want. And it's like, after a while, it gets kind of tiring because you can think that you're starting to have a conversation with someone and then they'll just reply with something that has absolutely nothing to do with what you guys were just talking about. And you're like, oh, you're not listening whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just go back to what I'm doing over, like, working then. I'm not going to stand here and waste my fucking time and watch this football game and try to BS with you if you're just going to, like, yeah, so then at my work, I blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, we're talking about football. The game's on. What do you mean at work?
I was sitting at the bar, and I made a conversation with the bartender lady.
Yeah.
And I saw her go up to this dude who was just sitting by himself, and she was like, like giggling with him, looking on his phone with him, or he was showing her something, and she was close to him. I wouldn't say like she was hugging him or groping him, but
yeah,
like, she was standing.
I don't know. There's definitely times where
she's standing close to him, and like, so she asked me a question. I was like, oh, is that your husband that you were with? Because he left. She was like, oh, no. I was like, all right, Jesus Christ, my bad. Like, I was just trying to make conversation. I just feel like there's always got to be a big reaction from somebody to end that conversation. It can't be a good conversation unless somebody had or a, oh, what, or a fuck, or a fucking round of applause, or a cheer, or like a good job or something. Like, something's got to be done to where it's like, okay, I made you feel good. Now you got to make me feel good next conversation.
I don't experience that so much.
Well, like you said, you're bartending most of the time.
Yeah.
And then other than that, what are you talking on the Xbox with the boys?
I mean, I guess,
so
yeah.
You got, what, like 9 combined brain cells right there, so not much is really going on except the finger movement.
No, I guess, I don't know.
That's okay. Me and my boys got about 3 brain cells, so it don't matter.
I mean, I feel like I do a lot of talking during the day, and I guess I just talk to different people or something, because I feel like I don't experience that a lot necessarily. I could
see you talking to different people. More people of different like backgrounds. Me, I'm just like, I work so much. I'm angry. I think a lot of people are whiners, and so I just don't have time. Like, if I get a small hint of that in a conversation from somebody, I'm out.
I think part of it is also a lot of the conversations I end with the customers or whatever because I'm going back to work. So I don't end it on like a grandiose, like, oh, haha, that was so funny, or like, oh, I know it, oh, or anything big like that. I'm just kind of like, oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You should go right back to work.
Have you ever just like kind of done that and turn away?
Dude, you don't even know how many
times I'll be in a regular public area talking to like a friend or a family member or somebody I know, like met that day, and then all of a sudden I'll just be like, just like turn away and start doing something else, and I'm like, man, I kind of feel like a dick sometimes because I don't like know how to respond because I'm not that kind of person that gets super emotional or like gives the big wow at the end of the.
One thing I can say that customer service is good for is you kind of perfect the fake laugh. You get really good.
Oh no, my mother taught me that. I don't need customer service for that. My mother, oh man, she's gonna hate me for it, but she's got the best fake laugh I've ever heard in my life. Her and my grandmother.
I just did my fake laugh. That's the one I do when people are trying to say something there. And that, okay, I guess I do that sometimes. Try to end it on making someone feel good by laughing or something at whatever they say.
Do a little chuckle at the end or something. Because
whenever
like a half-ass chuckle.
Whenever I try to get away from a conversation and someone wants to like crack a joke or something when I'm walking away, I always go, oh yeah, and then I fucking gave them 2 banana peels or something. I'm like, oh yeah. Right back to what I'm doing. Yeah. That's my fake laugh.
Yeah, I got like a Tourette's laugh or something, but.
And then I have a coworker. She laughs like a fucking idiot, and she goes like that every time she laughs. So then I do it back at her, and then it makes her do it again, and she's like, I can't stop. And I'm like, shut up. Yeah. You sound fucking stupid.
Go home.
And then I'll just start doing it in her face. I'll go, and then she's like, I'm like, I fucking love it, man. She's stupid.
Dude, the restaurant life. Y'all get to vote?
Y'all get to vote?
Y'all get to vote.
Dude, you'd actually be surprised. I work with a lot of people that are like.
Any pink-haired people?
So I work with a lot of people.
Pink, purple, blue, green, bright ass yellow.
I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah.
Well, we're not actually allowed to have colored hair at our work, so.
That's a good thing. Keep it American.
But if you saw the owner of my restaurant, you'd know how we put American cheese on all our burgers because that's how I fucking ate it when I grew up. And so that's how my mom.
You know why? Because there's a goddamn pool of grease slipping off that fucking mac take part.
You just named one of our dishes, didn't you? The mac take part that.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I was just acting like an old dude who was like trying to fucking say all the shit and he like in one breath like the old Americans. Like,
I thought you were rattling something off the menu and I was like,
I don't know.
Oh, damn, that was pretty good.
I don't know your menu.
What'd you do?
That thing was sticking to the mic. I was trying to.
It's magnetic.
I was trying to find it earlier. I didn't pass no goddamn science, you some bitch, right?
You didn't pass science class?
Nah, Mr. Scannell fucked me.
Oh, dude. He was the coolest. I loved him.
He's pretty good at violin. That's about it. But
he used to tell me all the dirty stories after school.
All right, on that note, I'm out of here. We're getting out of here, you sick bastard. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the fucking bell.
Tell your friends about me. Us.
Not about
Tell your girls about me.
Not about that fucking sweatshirt, though. Take it back to Goodwill.
Hey, man, I got this bitch at
Kohl's.
Oh. What?
No. Kohl's,
like me?
No, like Kohl.
Yeah, fuck that store. That's a stupid way to spell it.
All right. You guys have a good week. Later.